Hi everyone, my name is Lucia Zaremba, and first I'd like to thank Senator Gounardes, Assemblymember Rosenthal, allergy advocates, and our wonderful coalition that is fighting so hard for this law. I'm here to talk about EpiPens and why we have to pass this law to make sure that they're always available in public places in New York. It's simple, it's common sense, and it will save lives. You've heard people ask the question, what is your why? So you're all probably wondering, what is your why? My why is sitting right next to me. This is my brother John. He's 13 now. He's my best friend in the world, and I couldn't imagine life without him. Thank God we've grown up together. But we almost didn't. John is only here next to me today because my mom carries an EpiPen. When John was 7, I watched him almost die. I was just a little girl. He had an allergic reaction, and I saw him collapse to the floor. He turned blue, and he looked at my mom and said something I'll never forget. He said, "I don't want to die." My mom injected him with epinephrine, and within seconds, he began to breathe. His skin changed back to normal color, and just like that, he was back to life. I saw it firsthand. An EpiPen saved his life. And that's what EpiPens do. We got lucky. We had an EpiPen on hand because John has multiple food allergies. But the thing that caused his reaction that day, it was something that we didn't know he was allergic to. It was a new allergy he had just developed. And that's where the luck came in. If he hadn't already been diagnosed with allergies, we would not have had an EpiPen in the house. And that got me thinking, what would have happened if John didn't have an EpiPen? It's scary to say, but I know the answer. He wouldn't be here today. And it got me thinking about all the places we've been where John had eaten and maybe he forgot his EpiPen, or where maybe my mom was too far away from him to give him an EpiPen. And it got me thinking about all the times he wouldn't have been as lucky. And I realized that we had to do something to protect people with allergies. And I kept thinking, how many kids have unknown allergies? How many people forget their EpiPens home or maybe think they just won't need it that day? How many people don't even know they need to carry an EpiPen? How many people have died because they didn't have access to an EpiPen? So the more I thought, I became sure about one thing. We have to do better, and we can. So I contacted Senator Gounardes, I told him my story, and I told him my why. And he agreed. Senator Gounardes and Assemblywoman Rosenthal both agree that we need to protect people with allergies. So we proposed this law. Why does the law work? Because this law is common sense. It's simple, and it will save lives. Why does it matter to me? Because I grew up with my best friend because an EpiPen saved his life. And I'm here to fight to make sure everyone who suffers from food allergies has the same protections John did. No one should lose their life to a food allergy, ever. So let's pass this law and help make that a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucia. Every time I hear you tell that story, it just gets me so emotional because it's heartbreaking that even as you described what John said on the floor, I just think that no one, you're absolutely right, no one should have to live through that reality. That's a very scary reality. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm State Senator Andrew Gounardes from Brooklyn, and I really want to thank the whole team from Allergy Advocates and all of our coalition partners who are here today for this really important press conference and this important demonstration of support for, as we heard, very common sense measures. Oftentimes, people often say, like, there ought to be a law, there ought to be this, or, when we hear from our constituents, someone should do something about this problem. In this case, the someone was our own constituent, it was Lucia. When she reached out to me and she explained her story, she said, well, why can't we fix this? And I said, actually, we can, and you're going to help me do it. And we've been working at this now for a little over a year, right? And we've made tremendous progress and tremendous strides, and I'm really excited that both in the Senate and the Assembly we've been able to move these bills forward, and hopefully we'll be able to pass them into law this year. Anaphylaxis can be terrifying and deadly. This idea that places of public assembly, large venues, should ensure EpiPens are accessible to New Yorkers is a no-brainer at the end of the day. Because families like Lucia's and so many other families up here should not have to live in fear every single time they go out to dinner or to a public event. More than 50 million Americans suffer from allergies, and allergies are the 6th leading cause of chronic illness in the United States. Food allergies alone affect 15 million people in this country and are responsible for upwards of 200 deaths a year. Each one of them can be totally prevented. Lucia is right. It's common sense to require life-saving epinephrine at all large public venues, just the way AEDs are right now. Most anaphylactic reactions occur outside the home, and in fact, these devices are already required at daycare centers all across New York City. So we have precedent for requiring EpiPens to be in places where the public gathers. By ensuring that these places have devices like EpiPens and are prepared to use them, families can relax and enjoy themselves without worrying about their loved ones' safety. I know that many legislators and families across the state are already intimately familiar with the dangers of anaphylaxis, and I'm confident that with the continued advocacy of this coalition, that we'll be able to work to get not just our bill passed, but all of these bills passed this session. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the Zarembas for coming up and Lucia for all your work in helping to make this happen.